welcome to Letterboxbookclub Book Club. My name is Claire.
And I'm Mackenzie.
And today, coming at you with the second book of the House of Night series, Betrayed. I got it right this time. I always want to say betrayal, but I know that's not right. As always, Kenzie will read the blurby blurb for us.
It's a bit saucy. Slowly, he reached out and traced one finger over the fluid line of my tattoo. I wanted to tremble under his touch, but I couldn't move. Zoe Redbird is only just settling into the House of Night, the school for fledgling vampires. But she's already defeated the school mean girl Aphrodite, discovered her own incredible new gifts, and landed the hottest student in the school, Eric Knight, as her boyfriend. But something is going wrong. Where are Zoe's former friends disappearing to? How did she accidentally imprint her completely gorgeous and very human almost ex-boyfriend? And why are her new powers telling her that the people she trusts might not be everything they seem?
I am loving the saucy beginning of it, and it's like Zoe Redbird, blah blah blah. God damn.
I want to point out a few things in this.
Alright.
Where are Zoe's former friends disappearing to?
I know, I was just gonna say.
I don't think Elliot and Elizabeth were her friends.
No, I think they're talking about the kids that gets kidnapped. She knew of them, like the Chris and whoever they are. I already forgot their names. Yeah. That's how much they matter to me.
Oh, true. And then how did she accidentally imprint? I don't think it was accidental.
Yeah, we know how it happened. Come on.
And then it says Eric Knight as her boyfriend, and then very human, almost ex-boyfriend. Let's just condone this behaviour.
Yeah, we love cheating / emotional cheating around here. It seems.
Yeah.
And it gets worse.
It gets worse.
Alrighty. With that, thoughts, feelings, emotions, continue.
Going into the second book, I was full of positivity. I was thinking, yes, this is great. I'm going to get some teenage love, some teenage angst, and boy, was I wrong.
What a shit show.
Yes.
Yeah, I just don't know where I was expecting leading into the second book. I knew the Elliot Elizabeth ghost / zombies that we know them as, I guess, just through guessing. They're going to be a bit of a problem.
Yes. And then, were you sus on a certain character?
Yes, but I have a big fat crush on them, so I don't care. I'm looking past these red flags. Red is the only colour I see. But yeah, I think we can just go right into it. Nefret is sus as fuck in this book, which is fine. But again, with the book, the way it's written and being relatively short and kind of even concise, you begin to notice, because Zoe is the narrator of the book, it's in her point of view. If she noticed changes, it's going to stick with me. Anytime Nefret was had a clipped tone of voice, or was witnessed yelling at Aphrodite, and we'll get into all that as well.
Yeah.
It's Nefret is not what she seems. Yeah. And Zoe even describes Nefret having a darker power around her when she's kind of angry. So it's I noticed that shit, but I choose to ignore it.
Yeah.
but then as a balance, anytime Zoe needed, a head to lean on, Nefret is there. She is a guiding light, the guiding voice. So it's it's a weird balance.
Yeah.
I like it. That's why it's I don't care. It's I don't support, murder, but I support empowering women.
But shit, I'll do it if I have to.
Exactly. And Nefret is that. Yeah, I was very interested to see how the book will kick off, because they seemingly end suddenly out in the middle of the real world, and they've just, completed Samhain, so yeah, it's very interesting to see how everything kind of comes together in the second book.
Yeah. Throughout
the series, we're going to learn a lot of things. And one thing that I didn't expect was going to happen was, visitation days from parents.
Yes.
So, this is how the story of how the second book kicks off. Visitation days. So all the parents who actually kind of love their children, I guess, and accept them as fledglings and accept this vampirism, they will come and I don't know if it's a day House of Nighttime, or if it's just a couple of hours, because I think
it's an evening thing. Yeah, they say it's 6 to 8 or something, a couple of hours.
Yeah, because you don't want to fuck up the human bodily clock, because God forbid. And so there's this little bit of tension early, will Zoe's parents rock up, won't they? And of course they do. And obviously there's a bit of a scene.
But of course they're horrible.
Yes. But Nefret's there to girl boss the religion away. It's just so fantastic how she just ate him up.
She's fuck off.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you respect our views, like, I'll respect your views, you respect our views type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gives off real life religious undertones of, like, yeah, don't push your views onto other people, or, like,
Yeah.
don't demean what other people believe in because you don't believe in the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing I liked. I enjoyed that perspective because that's exactly what it should be. You know, yeah, you can believe what you believe in, but I'm going to believe what I believe in, and we can just respect each other.
Yeah, I keep thinking as well, because this is already pre-established in this world. Like, everyone is aware of, like, House of Knights throughout the world, and you know, the vampires and humans, you know, coincide together, and yet there's still this sense of discrimination. And then I remember living in my world right now, like, it is not perfect. There is, like, the racism and the discrimination and everything, so it makes total sense that these themes are still around in this book.
Yes.
We also get to meet Zoe's friends' parents as well. So we meet Stevie
Ray's mum. Oh, what a blessing.
And I think Damien is very anxious because, I forgot to mention in the first book as well, like, Damien's gay. Again, it's a very progressive book.
Yes.
Because Zoe is Native American. Shawnee, I think, is African American.
Uh-huh.
Erin is probably the token white girl.
Yeah.
Damien is the token white gay guy. And then Stevie Ray is the token southern Texas chick.
Yes.
Like, we've got all our bases covered. And of course, even now, Zoe is probably getting gawked at and stared at by her peers a lot more because of her new face tattoos.
Yes. And then also because now her parents are being horrible people at the open day.
Yeah, so what an embarrassing combination of things to happen. Again, this is all within her first month.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and as I was just going to say, Damien is extra anxious because it's funny. It's not funny. I say it's funny, but it's not funny. We know what we mean. Damien's parents don't care that he's a vampire or turning into a vampire, but they do care that he is gay.
He's gay.
That is the wrong thing to be, apparently.
Yes.
And I don't think his parents showed up, if I recall. But there was a lot of
I can't remember.
But yeah, there's a lot of dialogue about how, like, you know, yeah, open he is with his sexuality and all that, and everyone makes jokes. Yeah. Not that they're good jokes, they're very borderline homophobic as well, but
yes.
Again, it was written in 2007. we don't agree with what's said.
But I feel like even there is a bit of homophobia from the other students, I feel like there's people that are like, shut up, that's not cool, kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely forgot about that. Like, even in Damien, when Damien first got there, like, yeah, his roommate didn't want to be with him because he
so he switched.
Well, it's good that House of Night don't deal with that shit. Or at least don't tolerate that shit. And I think Zoe's grandma rocks up to visiting day as well.
Yes.
Which is nice. So Zoe gets to, like, you know, hang out and have fun, and they get to tell her everything.
Yeah.
And yeah, everything's great at that moment. I think after visiting day, there's a new student being walked through, like a new fresh fledgling.
Yes, Jack.
And obviously he's astounded by seeing Zoe, because obviously her being the new leader of the Dark Daughters and Sons, it poses a bit of a popularity and intrigue amongst her peers. So she has all that and her extra, tattoos. So she is one little freak show happening right now. Yeah. All eyes are on her.
Yes.
Chosen one,
main character, OP.
Yeah. She's not like other girls, as you said.
Pick me, choose me, love me.
She kind of welcomes him, and
because it's her job as leader of the Dark Daughters too.
Yes, and also at, I guess, Nefret's request, and you're not going to deny your mentor.
Yes.
A request. And while all that's happening, Zoe is thinking about changing the Dark Daughters and Sons hierarchy system.
Yes, because she does not agree with the way that Aphrodite was running it.
Because it was very, like, selfish, bullying, higher up seniors antics. She wants none of that. So she adopts... Where does the prefect... Is it, like, UK-ish style? I feel like it's very UK.
It's very boarding school.
Boarding school probably, is the better way to put it. I think of Wild Chicks, that movie. You know, the British...
Wild Child,
that's it, yeah. And, like, the head prefect girl.
Yeah, because I feel like it's very across the board, like, prefects in private schools, but I think in British schools in particular, maybe.
But anyway, Zoe's trying to research and adopt that particular style because, you know, she wants more respect and equality throughout that group, and it's not like, an inner circle clique. So she's enlisted the help of her friends to be, like, a part of her little council, and then They've nominated Eric to be a part of it as well, and then they're trying to get another member from Aphrodite's, like, two friends to join to give off the idea, like, yeah, they're not going to discriminate who you were with or, like, your past. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
They're just worrying about, like, now and, like, the kind of loyalty, honor, and representation that they want to spread moving forward. So, yeah, Zoe comes up with a bit of a thing. We also meet a new character that's been mentioned a couple times, I think, in the first book that we didn't really mention. But his name is Lauren Black or Blake?
Blake, because he, was away, because he's a poet laureate, whatever the fuck that means.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Yeah, so he was away.
And thus that it was him in the beginning. If you remember the beginning of the blurb, that was that interaction with Lauren.
I would like to throw myself under the bus here.
Rip into it, Kenzie.
In a society where I watched Pretty Little Liars, and I went to an all-girl school, I think that you want nothing more than your hot English teacher to fall in love with you, right? Right. And as a teenager, I was watching Pretty Little Liars, and I was reading this, and I was just in this is the dream mode. And reading it, I was just thinking, this is it. This is what I want. This is great. I can't believe that a teacher has fallen in love with her. How amazing. And then, of course, at the end, it's thrown into bits. So, as a teenager, I was well into it.
I really admire the honesty there, Kenzie.
Thank you. Now, as an adult, it hurts me, and it hurts me a lot.
Yeah, it's fucked up, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very fucked up.
He's like, I think Lauren is a part-time professor, and he's only 21, but he's an adult vampire, so that's where that whole age discrepancy comes from.
And I think also in this book, because it's a fictional sort of world within our world, it isn't frowned upon for this kind of relationship.
Yeah, no.
But, yeah, it is what it is.
Although in this book there is a lot of like those kind of intimate, caressing of the face and like caressing of like the shoulders, and I think there was a moment where he was looking at her marks or tattoos and like there was a caress of the side boob or something like that.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it was at the beginning it was just him being fascinated by her mark or whatever, and then she was reading into it.
Yeah. With that, Zoe is having like an emotional like three-way essentially. Like, does she want Lauren? Does she want Eric? Does she want Heath? Like, this is, what would you call this? This isn't a love triangle. It's a love prism?
Is polyamory.
Polyamory.
This is a polycule.
This is the original reverse harem.
Yes.
Who would have known it was a 16-year-old? But yeah, so Zoe is battling with her feelings for these three men, or two boys and a man.
I think Eric's 18.
Yeah, he's like a senior.
Yeah.
Fledgling, which isn't too bad. And then Heath is like her age, so like she's slowly going up, moving up. She's got the 16, she's got the 18, and she's got like the 21.
Yeah.
She's got a fine.
She's having a great time.
Exactly.
Is that not the dream?
It is the dream. Reading this book, do you think Lauren is sus at all? Like, just with his intentions? Or is it just, like, as you just said, like, he's just fascinated by
I think, no, he's not sus. I think it was, just him doing things and Zoe reading into it. It's like, oh my god, he loves me. And then even when there's the other things that happen, I never thought he was sus.
I think because, he's, like, a famous poet and, like, he's very popular amongst the vampiric community and, he's hot and attractive. Like, if anyone is giving that sort of attention, you'd probably like, look a little deeper into it and overthink it a bit. But, I don't know. Right now, to me, he's sus. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Do you just not like it in that...
I think it's more the 21-year-old and the 16-year-old.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Do you just not like it because of the age?
Yeah. And, I don't know. I get it. He's like a charming fella, and as I said, she's probably just charming. Yeah, perhaps the fame and the enigma surrounding him is probably what's drawing Zoe's attraction to him more. Yeah. And again, like, she's a teenager, she doesn't know what the fuck she wants.
Yeah.
She's living fluidly almost, and it's great. While Zoe is trying to figure out her prefect system and, her boy issues. Turns out high schoolers that she knew are being killed.
Going missing. No, they're not being killed. We don't know that yet.
We don't know. Oh, they're going missing.
They're going missing.
And it's very suspicious. Oh, the police are suspicious of the like vampires / House of Night because of just in the manner of which they're being
Alived.
lacerated and
drained of blood.
Yes, because it has to be vampires.
Yeah, because that's the only people who do that, Claire.
yeah, of course. And the police interview Zoe because she knew of these boys. But
yeah, she knew them.
Like, but obviously not in a friend way. Like they've conversed at like a party.
Yeah.
And that type of thing.
And I think just because they knew Heath, and then Heath knows Zoe, and Zoe's a vampire, and then that's how they connect it to the vampires.
Yes. But yeah, I think it's Detective Marks and Detective somebody else, which I forget. But I like Marks after, towards the end of the book.
I thought he would play a bigger role.
In the series or in this
book? In the series.
Oh, okay. Just from the basis of what happened in this book.
Yeah.
I think there's a point where Zoe eavesdrops on a conversation between Aphrodite and Nefret as well, in which Nefret is like yelling, screaming, crying, throwing up at Aphrodite because she obviously lost favor of the Dark Daughters. And we forgot to mention this in the first book, but that's okay. But with Aphrodite's visions, she has historically not told Nefret what's going to happen because she doesn't want to save kind of humans.
Yeah.
But in the first book there was an incident, and then she was forced to tell Nefret, and then Nefret saved the day, whatever, blah blah blah. But now Aphrodite is getting visions, and it's all like dramatic and hazy, and Nefret just doesn't believe her because she believes she's out of favor with Nyx.
Yeah. So she's like, why would Nyx tell you something?
Yeah. And I think Aphrodite was explaining, like, something's wrong, it's disgusting, it's just so wrong. Like, that's how they kind of describe a lot of, like, negative energies and negative things, like, it's wrong, it's bad,
it feels
it's
wrong.
Yeah, which is cool. So Zoe eavesdrops that, and she's a bit chuffed because Aphrodite is now out of favor with Nefret as well. And she's lost her high priestess training because she's, like, a selfish and a bully.
Yeah.
But yeah, and this is a different Nefret that Zoe sees. So she's getting a bit like anxious about how she should feel towards her. She doesn't know whether or not she could trust her. I think it helps with who we presume Nyx in Zoe's mind, telling her to omit information when needed whenever she's interacting with Nefret as well. So there's that. Oh, I think also at the parent night, Zoe witnesses Aphrodite being verbally abused by her parents.
Oh, yes.
This book also, Zoe starts to kind of turn her head on Aphrodite. Like, she's developing a lot more sympathy towards her because of these little bits of information that are being revealed about her. Because it gives off the, bullies are bullies because they're kind of being bullied by their own parents and, like, their own familial people. So, which is a pretty shit thing, but I suppose for this book it's the way it is. So Zoe is overwhelmed by, like, the teenagers going missing and everything, and I think she goes on a walk, and she encounters Aphrodite having a vision, and this vision is of Zoe's grandma dying, bridge collapsing or exploding or something, and Zoe's grandmother dying, plus a bunch of other people. No, a boat crashes into the bridge.
A boat crashes into a bridge, and then there's people, like, on the boat, but then there's people, in cars on the bridge as well that die.
Yep, so it's a whole thing. And now this is like a little bargaining tussle of Aphrodite is trying to leverage this information in order to gain a favor from Zoe.
Yes.
Zoe then accepts because she wants nothing more than to save her grandmother, whom she loves oh so dearly. And so Aphrodite tells her gives her as much information as possible. Zoe decides not to talk to Nefret about this after recalling, how she treated Aphrodite and saying that her gift is being withdrawn by Nyx. Like, now's a good opportunity to prove whether or not that's true.
Mm-hmm.
So then Zoe enlists the help of her friends, and they come up with a funny little scheme of how to stall the
Yes,
bridge
it's very funny.
It is so stupid. They're like, what are they, environmental activists?
Activists, yeah.
I forget what type of terrorist name that they're called, but this is so, like, it's so stupid, and it's, if something like that were to happen in real life, where you were to fake a phone call being, like, a fake terrorist group, like, there were real serious repercussions for doing that.
But they, also got, like, a burner phone, like, they did it all correctly.
Yeah, I know, like, nothing went wrong, and it was great. Oh, I think, I just looked it up, the Nature's Jihad, yeah. And they've claimed to have planted a bomb under the bridge. Oh, Jesus Christ. And, like, yeah, they had a whole plan. They had to call the FBI or whatever, like, during the daytime. Oh, I think even if it was this day, and then Zoe decides to free up some time, and she goes to Starbucks at some point, maybe. Oh.
She has to go to Starbucks to, pass the time. Or...
And so, yeah, this is where I initially got confused with the whole, oh, she's far away from the house tonight, she's gonna die. But then, yeah, we've already established that.
I think extended period of time.
Yeah, they can be a few hours away, but they just get sick. They don't actually die. So, yep, and this is where she stumbles across Heath, because Heath is putting up missing persons flyers for one of the friends. And
that's right.
And it's a bad idea, and they start having a chat.
It's a bad idea.
Because I thought Heath was going to go crazy, being like, oh, I love you, Zoe, blah, 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 blah. But it was actually quite a, can we please talk? And then they hash some things out. Then they
he's a changed man.
Yeah, he hasn't had a drink in, like, a little while now. Hasn't been high in a little while.
Yeah.
Because that is the be-all, end-all of a 16-year-old. And so they get to chatting. They end up getting into a car. And I think Heath kind of is a dick because he trapped Zoe in this situation. Like, I think Zoe told him about the sense of bloodlust. But he ends up cutting his arm open.
Yeah.
A little bit. And then Zoe's like, I have to drink it. So she starts feeding on him. And this whole scene is a very sexual and sensual thing. Like, it was a weird, like, feeding, just like a blood play makeout session.
I mean, it got me going.
You said to me that, oh no, I joked saying, is this where you got your torture porn fetish from? And you're like,
it's
yes.
Not torture. No. It's just blood porn. Oh, fuck. Blood porn.
There you go. This is what changed your life forever. This changed your trajectory.
I don't see the issue.
Fair enough. But yeah, they're getting into it. It almost kind of goes a bit too far, and then obviously they're interrupted by like a weird parking guard person is like, you can't park here, fuck off. But like, just the thing with I think this is a theme throughout all vampire, not just vampire fantasy, but just like a vampire genre. Like there is this real sense of sensuality and sexual things with blood, whether it's feeding, giving.
Also, in a book series that I have read.
Oh no.
I'm not going to tell you.
Don't worry, I think I have a good idea.
There's a lot around like blood and feeding and drinking, and it is very sensual.
So obviously this is no different. It must just be a historical theme.
I think it is like a historic thing that like a vampire feeding from you is like a lustful thing. Yeah, fair enough. But of course this, I suppose, solidifies what little imprint that was there. So now Zoe has another issue. She's kind of unironically lusting after Lauren, but like she's feeding on Heath and she wants to like take him. Yeah. And then Eric is just there on his like acting mission or something. So Eric is not even here for most of the book, and it's just like this poor girl, she can't find up. So that causes extra issues. But just the funniest thing about the whole book was just the terrorist organizing, like how to do it properly. That was just so funny. Yeah. So lighthearted. So they end up finding the kids.
Yeah.
The missing kids. And then is it then that they realise that who is doing it, or is that later?
No, it's a bit later. It's confirmed that they're dead.
Yes.
Yeah, so that just makes it a bit more depressing for Zoe.
Oh! Stevie Ray dies. Yeah, so Stevie Ray is coughing periodically, and she tells Zoe, she's just feeling a bit under the weather, blah, blah.
It's very noticeable, like the extra emphasis of, Zoe, Stevie Ray's been coughing, or she looks very pale, and she's feeling unwell. Yeah,
and then so Stevie Ray dies.
I wasn't expecting that right off the bat.
Dies in Zoe's arms.
which was cute. It was very traumatic for Zoe. I really felt for her.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause this
But
is her
again,
first
also,
friend.
this is, like, she's been there for about a month.
Maybe something about, like, vampires, or the sense of, like, they're all going through this together. It kind of enhances a little bit of an extra friendship bond,
Yeah,
perhaps.
extra friendship, yeah. Anyway, and then, so, they end up, Heath gets taken.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah, he does get taken, but I forgot another important part. Yeah, just real quick before we bounce into all this, because this kind of relates to Stevie Ray's death. Zoe does her first full moon ritual as a Dark Daughter and Son, and it turns out all her friends also have an affinity to a specific element.
Yes.
I can't believe I almost forgot that part. So Stevie Ray has an affinity to earth, Shawnee to fire, Aaron to water, Damien to... oh, what's the other one?
Air.
And then Zoe herself, spirit.
Yes, spirit.
And so they complete their first full moon ritual, which goes off without a hitch. This is where also Nefret kind of takes the idea from Zoe to explain it to everybody.
Yeah, it's about the prefix and everything, yeah. She's like, I came up with this. And Zoe's like, bitch, you what?
And, like, it's been misconstrued that Zoe came up with the idea of the initial members of the council to have, like concreted handprints or something. Like, that was her contribution, apparently. And so this adds a lot more kind of tension and conflict towards Nefret, because it's like, why the fuck would she take her students' ideas? Like,
yeah.
What does she have to gain from that?
Yeah.
So yeah, Zoe is now a little bit sus. So yeah, that happens, and all her friends are happy and all that type of stuff. And she leads the ceremony, like, beautifully. But of course, she has to be perfect. Chosen one. We love that. This is just going to be the ongoing joke. I'm just going to say chosen one, unironically.
Yeah, that's fun.
So yeah, back to Stevie Ray's death, she dies in Zoe's arms, Zoe's holding her, but they've also got they've called upon the element of earth to kind of comfort Stevie Ray.
Yeah, so that doesn't hurt as much.
And Nefret is actually quite surprised that everyone else has, like, an affinity to the element too. It just shows that their friendship bond is stronger.
Yeah.
And it's well gifted by Nyx, which is really nice.
So then, after all this, blah, 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 Heath is taken, and I think Zoe, like, through the bond, he's calling to her.
I think Eric is back and helps her out. It says, as much as he doesn't want her to help Heath, because, he's her boyfriend, he does imply if you search through your bloodlust, you'll be able to track him.
You'll be able to track him. So Zoe discovers where Heath is, and then I guess it's like a cave system underground.
Yeah, underground type of thing.
Yeah.
One of the nights I think the night of Stevie Ray dying, Zoe had a dream, a very vivid dream of Heath being taken, and this has now come into fruition. So now, of course, Zoe has an affinity for fucking visions.
But I don't think I don't think she has visions. Oh, she has dreams. But, yeah, I'm not sure if they're, like, Aphrodite's visions or if it's just Nyx trying to help her out.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Perhaps it could be Nyx just throwing a bone.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's just Nyx being like, here's a helping hand, lovely.
Here's a free one.
Yeah, free one on me.
Yep. But also, real quick, more distrust is towards Nefret. When Stevie Ray died, Nefret gave Zoe a vial of, like, milky white substance. I do not like the phrase milky
white substance. Yes.
It's gross. Nefret claims that it'll just help Zoe sleep and get rid of her nightmares or whatever, because it was such a traumatic experience for her. And I think she talks to Aphrodite about something, and, like, Aphrodite's like, whatever Nefret gave you, don't drink it. Bit of extra backstory. Aphrodite had a roommate who didn't make the change, who died, and she drank it, and she can't remember, like, about her roommate other than the fact that her name was Venus.
Okay.
So more distrust towards Nefret, but do we still have a crush on her? We do. Like,
you still have a crush on her.
I forgot. There was a moment as well, I think, because I don't know if it was a vision or Zoe actually spots like Nefret and, like, zombie Elliot. Like, she kisses him on the lips, and it was just so gross. It was like, ugh.
Yeah. Yeah, she sees a big moment. I just think because Elliot was described as such a, like, not a great looking guy.
And, like, his zombie form is, like, he's hunched.
Yeah.
As well. So, yeah, you know what? All attraction gone So yeah, even more distrust towards Nefret. And you just begin to think, like, why is Nefret doing this?
Yes.
Like, what the fuck? Of course, I'm sure we'll find out in the next, 10 books. So, yeah, more distrust towards Nefret, which ultimately leads towards the end of the book when Zoe rescues Heath by herself. Although she does have the help of her friends due to Aphrodite's advice.
Yes.
Because she knows that Zoe succeeded, because she had a vision of Zoe succeeding, but she needs her friend's help. Detective Marks is a good fellow, I've learnt. We learn that these undead zombie things who are holding Heath captive is Stevie Ray, Elliot, Elizabeth, Venus, all the dead fledglings are now like these zombie things, and they've been feeding on these humans. Although due to the imprint, they believe that Heath's blood doesn't taste right. It's wrong.
It's wrong, yeah.
So they've been kind of like holding out on him. So Zoe calls the element of fire. They have kind of not much of a battle, but she managed to steer them away. And towards the end of the tunnels, she collapses the building, and there's a semblance of humanity left in Stevie Ray, because just before, the Stevie Ray we knew and loved was all gone.
Yeah, now she's a different person now.
Yeah, and they say she's the leader of this, but she died yesterday.
Yeah.
How is she the leader of this gang? I suppose it's because she still has the element of earth, which is really interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, very interesting moving forward. And Stevie Ray reveals that Nefret is the one that's
making all these things happen, because she's giving them this milky white substance when they die, because it will help ease their pain and guide them into the next life.
But no, it's just you're just coming back to do my bidding.
Yeah, it's just like a zombie thing.
Yeah, and then there's a moment where Nefret, because they rock up to where Zoe saves Heath, and Zoe plays dumb. It's like, oh, we found him. It was so terrible, Nefret. Thank God you're here.
Yeah.
And then Nefret kind of erases Zoe and Heath's memory, to kind of forget all this ever happened, just in case. Oh, just because they've seen the zombies. And so this moment with Zoe regaining her memories, if it happened like that, it was like a quick thing. I'm like, this could have been dragged out a little bit longer. I think it probably could have even drawn out to another book, in the middle of the next book, be like, oh. But anyway, she manages. She finds I forget how she does it. I think she calls upon elements to regain her memories, and so that happens. And she's with Detective Marks, and
she's trying to remember. It's blocked, and so then she calls on the elements to help clear her mind.
And Detective Marks reveals that his twin sister is also a vampire, so
yes.
He has all the sympathy in the world towards them, which is great.
And this is why, I thought he was going to be a bigger character. I thought he was going to be a real, guiding stone for Zoe.
But I also think that this book as well proves that Aphrodite is turning into a hero we never knew we needed. She was an absolute bitch in the first book, but now she's still a bit of a bitch, but she's doing a lot more to help Zoe and her adventure. So then she remembers that Nefret, is the one that's doing all this, and so they go back to school. I think Detective Marks interviews Zoe again with Nefret kind of present, and Zoe's pretends that a homeless man is what's doing this and blah blah blah. And Zoe and Nefret have a moment where it's Nefret's your friends won't believe it's me.
Yeah.
But then Zoe's I don't need my friends to believe me because Nyx does. And it was just a good fucking clap back.
Yeah.
It was so good. But obviously Nefret is not to be trusted. Crush is gone. Bam. Done. And all is well in the House of Night, I guess. So now this is going to be an interesting kind of dance between Nefret and kind of Zoe, because obviously being the high priestess, she has a lot of not only spiritual elemental power, but she is almost the head of the school.
Yeah.
But Zoe's the chosen one, so everyone should just believe her by default,
Yeah.
So it's going to be really awkward to see how these interactions play out, and who does Zoe tell about Nefret? Does she, reconvene with Stevie Ray at some point? Is Stevie Ray going to be the inside zombie that we never knew we needed? Very interesting leading into...
I just realised, I thought it was in this book that something happened, but it happens in the third book, so I'm very excited for you to read.
Oh, okay, cool. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. And yeah, so Zoe's grandma was saved of a terrorist thing. Heath captured and saved. They haven't quite solved the mystery. Well, the detectives are satisfied with the outcome. So yeah, I don't know. I think that was it. Dark Daughter.
Nefret is behind the creepiness.
This may be a shorter episode just because it's so concise, and I think we've just gotten a bit more comfortable trying to get it more concise.
Yeah, I have an hour and 38, so if the first one was an hour, then this one's 30.
Yeah, I got like 50 minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see how we go.
This is like a filler book, I feel, between this and the next one.
Does a lot of shit happen in the next one? It goes
Yes.
down?
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm excited.
Lots and lots and lots, yeah.
So yeah, but I suppose this is a filler, but it also does drive the narrative forward a bit because yeah, we're figuring out that Nefrit is a problem and how we're
Yes. And how we're going to deal with that, yes.
Thanks for listening. Check out the third book coming out next week, which is called Chosen, I believe. Third House of Night book. Let's fucking go. Let's get this series cranking.
As always, thanks for listening and find us everywhere.
Yeah, TikTok, Spotify, Instagram, you name it. If you find us somewhere, you find us everywhere. Alright. You look stressed, Kenzie. Goodbye.
Sorry, he's playing with crockery.
All good. Thanks, guys. Bye.